In this video I have another Stromberg Carlson, and I only bought this thing because it was cheap, and I thought this record player looks a bit more appropriate for that other big radiogram I fixed up. This is a bit of a smaller one. Unfortunately the radio dial's broken in it. Almost looks like it's got similar rubber mounts to that other one, so I might have been able to save myself making a couple of them. Possibly the same knobs. That knob's busted. I think one gave way on the other one. And that's half missing. I don't know if that went on top of there or whether it's something completely unrelated. So we're missing a little bit of the turntable, possibly. Is that even a knob, or is it the top off a wine bottle or something? Who knows? But this is a 78, 45 and 33 velvet action. So it is a velvet action 3-speed record changer, which model 104 I think that is. So it might have been what the other one had. I had a feeling it said something about a velvet action thing. Bit of a funny old thing. The arm doesn't actually want to come across, and I've no idea what this thing is meant to do. Is that something to do with a changer or something? But yeah, that arm is stuck. And I don't think there's a needle in there. There is something there. Maybe there is one. And yeah, front of this box is just plain wood pretty much. It does have the name on there in some sort of gold lettering that originally had something painted over it. Some sort of lacquer or something. It's got speakers in the end by the look of it. And the model, well, it's not a model number, it's a model name. It's a Baltimore. Which, since this is an American company, that sounds appropriate, even though I think the Australian branch, well, they may have made them in Australia at a different branch or something. Does smell a little off, so I hope it's not full of mice droppings, but it's got holes in the bottom of it big enough for mice to get in. Definitely 50 Hertz, 220 to 250. I think we'll start by getting rid of this back cover off it. I'm not sure, do we access this thing from below or from above? Now it's got Phillips screws in the bottom bit, so I wonder if someone's had that off. Don't think they were factory. I think I looked it up on the Radio Museum and it said around 1953, so it's a bit newer than that big one I got. Kind of a nice cabinet on it though, rather bland on the outside, but I think a lot of them were styled that way on purpose to sort of be low key. Kind of the opposite to the boom boxes later on, which were styled to stand out. And yeah, the Mugs Eiffel kind of stereos in the 80s. A lot of these are made to just look like low-key furniture. Guess we'll take that out. It's got tone, radio, phono, very much like the other one. Tuning and volume. And yeah, on off on that. Oh, here we go. There's 4 bolts there, I guess is the radio chassis. So I'm still not sure. Couple of screws, or 3 screws I can see on the turntable. I've got another couple of screws. Oh, they are Phillips heads, so maybe this was in the Phillips head era. I'm not sure when they really became a thing. There's definitely stuff loose in it, and there's flat blade. I think we've got to take the bottom off. Then we've got a pencil and a bit of glass. Yeah, 1 rubber foot left, and that's it. This is quite modern inside. So this is a lot more modern. Small valves. Yeah, free pencil. Columbia. There's a bit of the missing dial glass that's broken. Ah, well, that's kind of disappointing. So here we've got miniature valves. Phillips mini watt. I think that's made in Australia. Mini watt. Yeah, I would have thought this is more getting late sort of 50s or something, so it shows how quickly they modernise. That's actually all looks to be copper coated, or something that looks copper coated. But yeah, the radio is a bit more modern than I would have expected. Yeah, we've got roller speaker. Is there a second speaker? No, there was just one grill. I had for some reason thought there was a grill on both ends. Nice cobwebs. So this is kind of modern, just a standard voice coil speaker. Yeah, we've got the usual Arts and P. And a post office is necessary. Duke on capacitors. So I might get this chassis out, or should I fire it up at where it is? Yeah, rubber coated wire. Cable on there's not too bad, but yeah, we've got more rubber coated going up to the turntable, so that's to the motor, so that's definitely something to watch out for. May even be best to disconnect that, but it looks alright. But then of course it goes across to the switch as well. We've got some shielded cable. Yeah, bendy old chassis in it. They didn't make that the best. So someone could have bent it or something. Yeah, speakers on a different bit of wood. Must be how they fitted the grill, is on the other side, and the grill cloth. Oh yeah, cloth is wrapped around in a piece of wood that they've fitted into the cabinet. Yeah, big mains transformer, speaker transformer. But yeah, a bit more modern looking than I was expecting. I think that's probably okay to plug in and try out, at least for a bulb. And you might even just disconnect the turntable for now. And I guess we can see what this thing actually does. I was going to say, is that going to come apart? And it did. Just before I got to it, we've got two broken knobs because two have fallen off. And yeah, more bits of broken glass everywhere. But the turntable's fixed, so that's kind of good because I can see what's under there. Yeah, copper plated everything, I think, and that weird bendy. Assume that's meant to be like that. It kind of looks like it was made that way, but that's got a wire for the changer. It doesn't come down to the bottom like a normal one. Strange. Very heavy platter. Well, another knob fell off. Still intact by all of it, but they're dropping off everywhere. Let's hook this thing up and see what it does. Okay, let's turn it on and see what happens. And nothing. Okay, no bulb action. Guess I should put the bulb where people can see it. So the first test is always, do we have anything across the mains? Oh, we do. Okay, I didn't expect that. Just slow to do anything. Usually you should get a bit of an inrush. Oh, well, that's interesting. That would suggest we have a transformer in there. Oh yeah, the valves are coming on. I can see one. If I actually got this in bulb mode, it should be. Just doesn't pull much current. Maybe I need a smaller bulb. The volume is turned up a bit, but I'm not hearing anything here. We've got dial lamps. Oh, we could be switched to phono or anything. Oh, I thought it was switched to radio. Now we could have no speaker, I guess. That's just tone, I think. That's a tone switch. Oh, that's tuning. I guess the first check is, do we have a speaker? Ah, what do we got here? It's a connector, looks like a speaker connector. Ah, someone's hooked this speaker up to something here. I can hear. Multimeter's actually making it go crunch. So the transformer, it's pretty sensitive. Oh, here it comes. It's making that noise, I think, even with the volume down. Oh, there's another bit of knob. Radiogram switch is terrible. Ugh. Almost microphonic. That's very tight. I guess with that broken dial probably doesn't help. Gram, can we get something? Oh yeah, bit of hum from the gram input. Yeah, I can get the glass out of there by the look of it. Might be a good idea at this point. 8 turns a short bit and then that's it. Something is very seized and it frees up a bit.
We'll mix right throughout the whole night. You and I both relate to it. When you swap your
Good. Good, very unhappy. Is that bad valve sockets or bad valves? Better do a Shango here and we'll wear some gloves, even though they're a bit paint coated, these ones. That's kind of loose, that one. Yeah, that really seems looser than it should be. But that might explain why it didn't come on at first. Yeah, that shut it up. Ooh, nasty.
Window kick goals. Shorts.
Yeah, very dodgy.
You know, this kick one, he doesn't kick a lot of goals.
Yeah, it just completely dies. God. Possibly the worst valves or the worst valve sockets in history. Okay, the first one's a 6AV6. Not sure if I've got any of these valves anywhere. If you're going to work on these things, I guess you really need a good collection. 6BE6. That one sounds vaguely familiar. It's just a kind of flimsy aluminium chassis. I wonder it's bent. It's such a thin chassis. Nothing like the other one I looked at, which was quite nice build quality. I guess the old scrape the pins with a knife trick or something might have some effect if they're tarnished. Could be an internal fault in the valve, but the fact two of them are doing it would make me think just dodgy sockets in this thing. Or yeah, bad pins, but they certainly don't look bad. The fact this one's so loose makes me think it's the socket. But these valves of course don't have a pin in the middle, so they're somewhat loose by nature, I think. Not as good as the earlier ones in that sense for sort of holding themselves in well. Those pins just rock around. Pins almost want bending outwards instead of inwards to make a better contact. They want bending outwards so they don't move around so much. But yeah, they seem to be not very good quality sockets. We've got hum again. I think that means this one's not. Yeah, not connecting. This one seems a bit better. Yeah, that one's still dodgy. Or is that? Yeah, it's this other one, I think. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if that valve isn't dodgy. Something around it is dodgy, that's for sure. 6AV6. Do we have a dry joint on the socket? It's not making the greatest connection, I don't think. should be alright. I think that's just the earth anyway. Well, that will still be a major problem if the earth doesn't connect. No. Yeah, so those top pins seem to be the most sensitive.
The Giants would allow you to have as much uncontested possessions as you did. At times you're having it felt almost soccerish.
Not as sensitive as it was.
Around the back half, waiting for that open
that's
ball,
good.
and then you could go bang. They allowed it. You do that a little. Was that in the planning?
Well, we knew that they liked to bowl back harder and get numbers back. So for us, we didn't want to get 4 or 5 number, and they're good at ground ball and they're D50. So for us, it's about possession of footy, and I think we've made great gains in already this season, and we've worked on it over the pre-season. It's nice to have the footy in our hands, and
Quite a bit less sensitive than it used to be. But yeah, if you wobble this valve around, still playing up, your tap on the valve seems okay. So it's got to be these pins in the socket, I guess. Shame you can't solder them in if they play up like that. Guess the other thing we might have a quick look at is see if this turntable works. So that's what I got it for. So yeah, like I say, the arm doesn't seem to want to move and stuff. What have we got? Green for ground. Interesting, this has got a ground on it, but the main unit doesn't, unless you're meant to hook it up to the other. I think that's just, yeah. And whether the switch is open or closed, it's measuring something. Oh, I see, it joins the two. So the two coils have the mains coming in and they go through a switch to join the two together to get it started by the look of it. Oh, there we go. Now, what's it got here? Some sort of, is that something to stop it engaging, moving? There's this thing just, oh, there's the arm, I think. Must have take her out, I think. Oh, that's a switch or something. Here the arm. Yeah, what a weird contraption. Oh, now it's moved. Finally. Oh, yes, any of those positions. What the hell was that just for now? Some bit of metal dropped out. Clip or something, so maybe that's what was stopping it running, I don't know. The first time something like that had jammed something up. Yeah, now it comes right across. Oh, now it's stopped again. There's something to do with touching that, I think. Man, what does that thing do? Oh, here we go, something's rotated now. Oh, 12 and 10 inch. Oh, and 7. So that must be something to do with the stacker. Oh yeah, so this is meant to rotate around. But this has gone and locked up again. Is it something to do with this other stuff? Oh, that's the idler. God, look at the idler. That is absolutely shot. So it needs one of them. Oh yeah, that's the heights to the two different pulleys. It's meant to be 3. That doesn't seem to want to go right down, probably because the motor's dropped. pretty standard. It seems to stay up now. No, it's nearly there. Why won't the arm move? Did something work because I had it on the side? Yeah, seems to. Doesn't help that all this wiring is dropping in everywhere. That probably is not the best. There's some sort of metal thing which is probably dropping down and stopping it. Let's just turn it on and see. Oh yeah, the motor's running. Got a few dead spots on the eye light. If something goes clunk and that's it, it doesn't want to work again. Yeah, it hasn't turned off even though I'm back where the switch should be off. That screw looks bent. Oh, maybe it comes up with the platter itself. I think they're meant to be wound down for transport or something by the look of it, and possibly you're meant to let them free anyway for usage. I think someone lost the original brass one there. There's a spring. There's a spring on this. Oh, a spring with a rubber bit on that one. Spring with a rubber bit on the other one. Oh yeah, it's got a rubber bit. Well, it was rubber. It's like gone hard now. Ebonite or something now. So yeah, it looks like quite a fancy mech in there. It's got a couple of different gears. Is that something to do with why? Let's see what. Oh yes, so that runs off this middle bit. Again, probably engaged. And something or other happens. Oh, now we're turning again, but will that last? Ah, well, turning that seems to have helped. Check this whole thing out. Ceramic cartridge. Something, it's got AC/DC. Something Asiatic Corp. Coniao. Made in USA. That sounds a bit French, whatever that is. Yeah, not a turntable I've ever seen before, but maybe this whole thing is American or something. I'm not even sure the name of any American record player companies. Usually we just saw Garrett and BSR, which I think are both British. I guess I should be a bit careful with that, but it's pretty well stuffed anyway, I think. So what's this do? 33.45. Oh yeah, this is a swap over. Oh, here we go. We can read more on this side maybe. Use astatic needles only. A3 white label side, A1 red label side. Okay, so that's what it said. Just a mono, of course. Huh. Yeah, well, that's a bit different. No way of actually strapping this thing down by the look of it. Just sits on a bit of rubber. Or did. So I guess Velvet Action is the brand, is it? Is it? I just assume Velvet Action was some title for it, or was it made by the radio company or something? Yeah, I suspect this would have originally had a different knob on it, so that's a bit disappointing. That's a bit of a furphy, that thing, I think. It does say gram something. That actually says gram radio, gram vol. So I don't think that's anything to do with this unit. I was hoping it was the bit that came off there. But looks like we're missing the top knob. And yeah, this is one of the weird, it actually tilts. Because how does the record changer work on this thing? We've got a gear there. So that must run constantly, I guess. Interesting way to get power from there, via the platter, back into the main bit there. Oh, that presses something down. I wonder if that is meant to be bent like that. Could that possibly have been bent so neatly? That's a solid piece, but it's got a sprung bit that sticks out, or can stick out. I think something might be broken there, don't know. Well, the record could come down. Okay, so this holder, is this something to do with it? Oh, this thing like must, or does this hold up and then let the records down or something weird? I've got no idea what's going on there. That's fully down. Yeah, this thing definitely is in that area. Do we rotate? Oh, that's why it rotates in, yeah. Okay, so that gets you towards your 7-inch, the edge of your 7. Gotcha, that's a 12. And that clicks in there. What a weird contraption. 12, oh, of course, if it's, even if it's right over there, unless that holds out, that must be something like how it works. That's in like that. Let's go. Next one comes down. Oh, well, I might have to look and see if anyone's actually got any info out on these, because I've never seen one before. So it's completely unknown to me how this thing works, or how to even use it. There we go, that's on. Doesn't sound very good. What is scraping there? Is that just the idler scraping against the outer rim? Probably. It's got a dents in it everywhere, big flat spot. Absolutely shot. I don't know if there's a way of re-rubbering these. That rubber, it feels more like a piece of slate or something. It's as hard as. It's much different sounding to the metal. So we're not already established that's just our speed thing. And this is a very complicated looking mech. So some sort of clamp thing, depending where that cam gear is, I guess. So that is not engaged at the moment. Oh, but then we got something presses down when we put the central bit. I could have sworn it pressed on something. Guess I'm going to have to learn it all from scratch, unfortunately. Oh, there it is. That's the bit. Oh, so that's the central thing that came up through there. That's the centre of those bits. So that comes in and locks. Doesn't seem to have any further effect on affairs. What is this thing here? Yeah, that second gear. Ah, so this is our, is this what this other bit is? Aha. Of course, in between our speed selector thing, we've got some other stuff. Wasn't even taking any notice of that since the knob's missing off it, but that does something. Now does that engage that second gear? Doesn't seem to. Oh, what do I have to go? Not sure which direction I'm even meant to be going. It looks like some of this stuff's designed to catch. No, that doesn't seem to catch anything. This moves the switch, and not much else. Well, that's probably because this is C. I reckon that thing's meant to move. Oh, no, that's the speed thing. No, it's not. Oh, this thing's meant to rotate as well, I think, is the point, is it? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This bit's seized. Whatever that is, yep, that's definitely meant to move. So that pushes that bit in, which is meant to catch on something else. Oh, we can rotate that other gear independently anyway. Yeah, that's tilting that thing. And now it's back, and now it's tilting backwards and forwards. Well, that is a contraption. I've got to look online to see if I can find... Hope someone's got one of these up and running, because I've never seen that thing rocking back and forwards before. I think we'll give it a clean up so it's a bit more pleasant to work on, and see if we can work out how on earth this thing works. How do you get the mech off? Screws on top. Certainly solidly built. Very solid thing it's built on. At least it's in nice condition. That'll probably clean up half decent. Let's see what condition this paint is in, but it actually looks mint for once. It's not rusted. It hasn't been out in the shed rusting away like most of these things. That is actually very good condition. Let's see if we can get this arm cleaned up a bit. It's a bit yellowed, I think. Oh, it's had tape or something on it. But that is in surprisingly good condition. Just a shame it's missing that knob. Now I have to look out for another one to get the knob for it. It'll be a never-ending thing if I see Stromberg Carlson on something. Oh, I didn't think I'd see another one in a hurry. And there it was. Oops, just took the spring off that. Good job. Where'd it come from in there? Must have been. Looks like they had a thing for a sort of copper colour, which kind of goes nicely with the wood, I must say. But yeah, what a shame that knob's missing. And yeah, can I get another idler for it anywhere? And I guess the felt, it's not too bad, it's just dirty. I think that with a good wash, I might just hose that middle bit off. Hose the whole thing off and hope I don't do anything bad to it. But I think that'll probably, I could probably brush it off too, but oh yeah. Yeah, kind of gets rid of some of it. Still pretty grotty looking though. Might have to scrub it, or don't know, maybe put the Dyson over it or something. And yeah, a bit of maybe polish or harsher cleaner on that could get that actually quite good. So that could be quite a nice looking turntable. Yeah, if I could get the other knob for it, and if we can get it to run. Well, unfortunately the dial glass, we've got one little piece, but yeah, the rest of it's missing, so it's well and truly smashed. I was hoping I might be able to at least glue it back together a bit or something, but I guess we'll give it a quick clean anyway. Certainly make it look a lot better than it did, so I've got no idea what this machine looked like once upon a time. But one of the reasons I guess it was cheap is this thing was smashed in half, making it pretty useless. But that had many years of dust on it, so it's nice to get that a bit cleaner, just so it doesn't look quite as horrible, even though it's only good for the rubbish bin anyway. But I guess I'll keep it with the unit for now. We can, I guess, glue that bit back in place. Yeah, so we're missing the L out of Carlson. These other little bits I think I'll just throw in the bin now because they have no value. Well, if anyone's really interested, that's what it looks like in a broken form. And here's the chassis out of that Stromberg Carlson. So you just take the 4 bolts that are in the record player. Well, it's got these red washers as well, and 2 screws up near the upper part of the speaker grill, and that just slots out. And yeah, it's seen better days. It's got some expanded aluminium. Looks like they folded it around so it doesn't come off. Then your speaker cloth. Who knows what that originally looked like. I thought we'd just have a quick look why the radio dial was so hard to move. And I think we might have to lose this roller speaker. Someone's already done a bit of a dodgy here, wrapping it around these. Or are they actually designed to disconnect? Hey, they are actually. I see you press the little sprung part and they go through a couple of little holes there. Ah yes, that's a good design. This bit's soldered though, so we're not going to have much luck. That is rubber cable that probably wants replacing anyway. I might snip it at the radio end because it goes to a capacitor there. That's just connected to chassis. Model L roller. Product of Roller Co. Australia, Richmond, Victoria. And yeah, no dates on any of those by the look of it. Yeah, it runs quite well now. Maybe it loosened up a bit. A little on the tight side, but when you turn it here, it's quite fine. Oh, well, there you go. Just a bit of sort of felt stuff on there. Much like the turntable, I guess. And it's seen better days. And yeah, that other radio I had, the big Radiogram, had exactly the same rubber mounts. So, well, actually 3 of those are still soft. That one's gone hard. God, that would have saved me some work if I'd got this thing earlier. Could have used it to repair that one. Oh, we've got a 6AV6. That was the one that was being a real pain, I think. Now, what's this one? It hasn't got a label on it. 6. I think that's a 6AU6. Bit hard to read it. It's gone all black. 6AU. Oh, 6BE6. I thought something had a B or something on it. 6BE6, 6AV6 was the one that was playing up the most. I think some of these switches needed a clean. They might need more than just switch cleaner on them, but we'll try a bit of that. It's actually loose. That's just on off, I think. Probably shouldn't have put too much on that. The capacitors move around a bit. So I've seen the things, moving on the chassis a bit. Let's tighten that up a bit. Don't know if we can do much with a little file or something to improve this socket at all. A little screwdriver in there. A couple of those, I think I'll just bend them closed again maybe, if I can. Yeah, a few of them do look a bit spread apart, so that could be what's... Maybe that valve took a knock at some point. Because I don't fancy having to replace that. And I haven't salvaged any valve sockets, just chucked them all away on old chassis, so I don't really want to buy one either. So, that feels a bit better. Feels a lot better. Well, yeah, that's super loose. Yeah, I think they're better. Yeah, because that's super loose. I don't know if retensioning valve sockets is a thing or not, but I guess why not? I think this one here, well, that's the other loose one that was playing up a bit. I think that's probably the rectifier or something. Let's make it so the valve really has to force them open again. That should improve the contact. 6x4. Yeah, it looks like a diode thing inside. I'm starting to recognise what these things look like. Just a couple of squash bits of metal there. No real mica and layers and stuff. Yeah, that's a lot tighter fit. I guess now that we've done that, I guess we might as well do that one as well. Oh God, what's going on here? They're near coming out of the thing. God, those pins are black. What's this one? A 6M5 Philips mini watt made in Australia. Well, we've got dial lamps. Here it comes. Whoa, still nasty. Oh, that didn't fix that one. Did fix that one though, I think. Well, Sillies have put out a better erudite now by the look of it. It's ultra clear, but it sits in 5 minutes, so it seems to take a little bit longer. Holds up to 150 kilos, and it's in this better, wider, separated syringe. This is only a little 8mm one I bought just to try it out, and it's got a better, hopefully better cap on it. So will it come off again the next day is the question. Of course it won't. Oh, here it comes. Yeah, it's quite a nice tight fitting one, which is the main thing. It's further apart. I think this is a much better design. Hopefully it doesn't leak everywhere like the big one, the 24-hour one I had before. What I did with that, my first project for it, was because we had this broken dial, I actually stuck this as a piece of clear perspex. Basically starts there and ends there. Could have cut it a little bit better, but it was cracking and I couldn't work out how to cut it at first because it's very thin stuff. Probably about the same thickness as the glass. It's identical by the look of it. So what's that, probably a couple of mils, 1.5 mils, I don't know, something like that. But I thought at least that puts it back together. It's a little messy because it was that little separate piece and I sort of shoved that in at the same time and it got a bit of glue on the back of it. And for some reason I managed to get glue on the front of it. But it's only broken and not much good. But it looks a lot better intact. Even as bad as it is with a couple of bits missing, it's not that much of it gone. I guess you could get a bit of white paint or something, draw in, maybe a little fine white marker and draw in the rest of it, almost make it look half decent again. And cleaning it all up helped a lot. But all that seems to be working. There's, like I say, just one of these rubber things that gone hard, so it fitted in there quite nicely. Though with that erudite, if you squeeze it all down, you can get rid of most of the bits. Of course, there's going to be a bit of an edge, wavy edge there, where it changes one to the other. I guess you could coat the whole thing and try and get all the bubbles out of it. And you almost wouldn't notice that you stuck some perspex on there. But not going to be as good as the original, of course. And yeah, you should leave it around 24 hours before you really go and remount it like this or anything. I think I left this one overnight and most of the morning. It's now getting close to 24 hours, but I poked this in this morning just to see if it went in alright and everything. But that's a somewhat better improvement. I don't think this thing picks up quite as well as it should. It actually sometimes seems a bit better without the external antenna hooked to it. And we've still got that issue with that valve socket. I assume it's the socket and not the valve itself playing up. I couldn't find a circuit for this thing, but I did somewhere here find something similar, although it's got a different set of valves. Oh, this was a Marlboro. This has got the 53A31. This is a 53A13. I had a quick poke around. The electrolytic caps seem okay. There's only rid of those two big ones. And a few other things I checked seemed alright. But I'm not really going to do any more with this. I think we'll get some photos for the radio museum. So I've got a record of this thing, what it actually looked like. And yeah, I'm halfway through fixing the record player. You can probably see some parts here. I'm doing a separate video on that. So that was going to be a long one as well. This went for far longer than it should have really. So I guess I can probably take my mains cord off, get some photos of the chassis and the unit, so we can at least put it on Radio Museum. And the record player I've already lubed up, and I think that might be running, but certainly doing a bit better with the arm than it was before, but I'm going to have to try and patch up the idler and get that going so it actually runs it. But yeah, quite an interesting turntable to pull to bits and have a bit of a look at. So, but that'll be a different video, so we'll just finish this one up. And yeah, it's not going to be restored or anything. If the dial glass wasn't broken, I'd probably put a bit more effort into it. But then I only really bought it for the turntable for the other one. And I haven't checked with these knobs yet, but 2 of them are good. I cleaned them up. I think 2 of these are the same as the other one. I guess I should get off my butt and go and check that. That's in a different building now because I had nowhere to store it. And yeah, unfortunately 2 of them are broken. I think that happened to one of the ones on the other one when I tried to turn something a bit tight with it and it snapped. Some of these do look like someone's already glued them once upon a time, which is quite possible. There are some bits and pieces to go with them, but I don't think there's really enough to fix them. They're missing those little metal clamp bits. Seems to be a weak point in these, so I've got a couple of broken knobs, broken dial glass, and I don't really have a use for the thing. It's not the nicest looking thing to start with. That big monster one I thought was a pretty cool unit, which it was really, and it's got a decent amp in it. This is just your typical sort of 50s, 60s type valve equipment that I used to just look at and think what obsolete old junk that is. Now obviously they're a bit older now, so they're a little bit more interesting, but yeah, nothing special. But for the price, I mean, even a couple of knobs, if I can get a couple of good knobs out of it or something, it's probably worth paying $20 for. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this, but we'll put this back in the cabinet. And the record player may never go back in the cabinet. It may go in there just to test it, but I can hook that up separately anyway. I guess in a way it wouldn't hurt to get it going in this unit just to see what it sounded like. So we might even do that. Maybe at the end of that video, but this I want to get off the bench and get it out of my way because it's lying on the floor. I'll put the chassis back in and yeah, we'll try and finish off this record player and then see. Like, I don't know whether that'll fit in the other one because I think the woodwork had been chopped up as people did. But it would certainly look a lot better in that other one. I mean, I'm never going to use it, I don't think. So as a more of a display piece or whatever, it'd be nice to have the original record player, especially if you can actually get it running. Though how we'll go with the idler, I'm not sure. But that's it, the Stromberg Carlson Baltimore, I think it was, wasn't it? Which I think is a 53A13 chassis according to the Radio Museum. And yeah, they've got the manual on that. Record changer, Webster Chicago 156. That seems to be close enough. It certainly seems to have the same parts if you read the bits and pieces in here on, you know, the various faults of why certain things don't work. And if you look at the spare parts diagram, wherever that was. Oh no, I didn't print it out. I didn't print out the parts list, but it does have an exploder view. So you can actually look at various levers and stuff and it tells you what they do or gives you some idea. Then if you read the instructions on the adjustments and why things don't work, you find it's pretty much the same mechanism, though they used a different clamp assembly on theirs. This one's definitely a unique one. I think they've just redesigned it to maybe make it look like it's a different record player, or they like that style more. I'm not sure. Not sure whether they were made in Australia to the American design with a few changed parts, or whether they got that Webster Chicago company to actually add these different parts or whatever and put that velvet changer badge on there instead of their usual thing. Quite possible they made them under contract and sent a whole lot out, and they probably built this part in Australia. Actually, I thought this was an aluminium chassis, but it's not. How's it so bendy? Yeah, that is the flimsiest because no one put a fold over, I guess. That's some crazy weak steel, I guess, but yeah, not surprising in a way. I would have thought it'd be a bit stiffer. And I guess the fact they've cut holes in it, maybe that's got something to do with it. But yeah, that is the flimsiest chassis I've ever seen. It's situations like this you realise why they usually bend them up or something, just to stiffen them up a bit. But that's all I'll do with that one for now, so thanks for watching.